And now, your weather authority.
Good evening, everybody. Hope you have had a fabulous Tuesday and hope you stayed somewhat warm through the late part of your afternoon and early evening. As I promised, we got that sunshine after trading out the cloud cover, and in return, we paid for it with cold temperatures tonight and into tomorrow, which we're already seeing out there. But firstly, let's take a look outside and go outside courtesy of this Hancock Whitney tower camera overlooking Jones Park and the beautiful lights set up out there. Beautiful sight tonight. It's nice and calm out there as far as the weather's concerned, but definitely cool and cold for others. Flat out cold for the rest of the area throughout the rest of the evening as we progress into tomorrow. Let's take a look at the temperatures across the area in just a moment. But firstly, let's add in this graphic. This is the freeze warning in place for parts of the Mississippi Gulf Coast. Areas in purple under the freeze warning, so the 4 Ps as we call it, has become a trend as of late. Help you remember during the colder months, the plants, pipes, pets, and people. Protect all of those and drip those pipes tonight if you can. Whether you're in a purple shade or not, I would just go ahead and take your precautions, because whether you're forecasted for 34, 35 degrees, we're not that accurate. And honestly, you trust us a little too much sometimes. But in all seriousness, even if you're right on that cusp of the freezing mark, you could get a little bit cooler during at some points in the night, and then you'll be in trouble if those pipes freeze, which of course we don't want. So just take those precautions. And here's what happens once again in the current setup. This is the graphic we've been showing, and it applies perfectly tonight. Tonight is the night when it actually is going to apply to you and show what happens on clear nights. That solar radiation comes down during the day, heats the ground up, and when you have cloud cover overhead and then you head into the overnight hours, what happens is you see a blanket effect of some sorts, and it reflects a lot of that daytime heating back to the surface. And as that happens, it keeps the surface in your area a little bit warmer than it would be without those clouds. But you can already see where I'm going with this. You remove those clouds, and then that heating's free to escape just as quickly as it came during the daytime hours. But here it's showing the clouds reflecting and emitting some of that heat back down to the surface. But then once you take it away, and it's going to be free to reflect all the way back up and out into space, leaving your area much colder through the overnight hours with that lack of cloud cover, and that's what we're seeing tonight. And you'll see in just a moment another aspect of that is very calm winds, and winds straight at calm at the 0 mark. You'll see in just a moment. But across the area currently into the low to mid 40s in some areas, especially along the northern part of the viewing area, Wiggins and Lucedale both at 40, then just a tad bit warmer as you head towards the coast. And then as we spread things out just a bit and take a look around the region, areas up to the north and west like Fayetteville already into the mid 30s, Jackson, Tennessee at 26, and we're here into the lower 40s in Gulfport. But progressing on into the overnight hours and into tomorrow, will be quite cold and straight up cold. Just label it that. No quite about it. It will be bone-chillingly cold out there as we head into the overnight hours. And those folks out to the west and northwest are saying, low 40s, mid 30s, that's nothing for us. But hey, here on the Gulf Coast, that's quite cold. But the winds, like I mentioned, are right at 0 and calm, which is actually going to help to make it colder out there through the overnight hours and set up our radiational cooling setup into the overnight and into tomorrow morning. But also, here's the Mississippi Power Doppler. We want to include that here, and it's showing that the clean sweep is in full effect. Remember that clean sweep. For that, we need those 3 things. We need to be free of clouds, rainfall, and thunderstorms, which are all not in the area at the moment. And even on the wider viewpoint, you can see that is also the case, aside from a few areas of radar interference in southern Louisiana. And tonight, like I mentioned, even if you're on the cusp of the freezing point, some areas like Gulfport projected to be at about 34 degrees, it will still be bone-chillingly cold out there. The winds may pick up just a tad bit into the late part of your night and early on your morning hours tomorrow, but nevertheless going to stay light enough to where that radiational cooling setup is pretty stout out there, meaning we'll be into the low to mid 30s for overnight lows. High pressure out to our west has continued to stay there, but it's going to drift over closer to our direction into the day tomorrow. And as you can see, as a result, down here on the coast, we're actually going to stay nice, calm, and mostly clear for the midday hours. But on into tomorrow night, that high pressure is going to head on out the door. And as that happens, that metaphorical void in the atmosphere will be left open for clouds and then eventually some rainfall and thunderstorms to move in Thursday night into Friday. Now, it wouldn't surprise me at all to see the area that the Storm Prediction Center has outlined for Thursday night into Friday extended into our area. But as we quickly roll through your futurecast, notice that showers and storms start stacking up for parts of Louisiana and southern Arkansas into Thursday evening, and then on into the nighttime hours, we'll see our showers and thunderstorm chance increase. We'll dive into your 7-day forecast more in depth in a few minutes.